Kyle, thanks for coming on. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, John.
Dialogue log. We're going to just kind of chop it up, talk about obviously your time with City, your collegiate career, everything that's kind of brought you to this point. I'd start off by saying, people that just know Kyle Hiebert, the defender player for St. Louis City SC, like, who are you besides the player? Who would you say you are off the field?
Yeah, I would say that's like third or fourth on who, when I think about myself,
Sure.
I think about my career like down the line. So
Sure.
like number one, I would have my faith in Jesus is like that grounds me in who I am. And then number two, I would have I'm a husband to my wife Cassidy, and this is why it's like 3 or 4 because then
Sure.
like I have a
Pillars, yeah.
11-month-old son, and like
Yep.
I'm his father. So I think of like my faith being a husband, being a father, and then it's like that's not to negate the importance of me as a soccer player,
Sure.
but I have it as like maybe fourth on the list
Yep.
of who I am.
That makes sense because ultimately soccer is the career, right? It's a source of income, and I think a lot of fans, or I'm not going to say I'm not a casual fan. I think I know more than the average, and I've been involved with, been fortunate to be around professionals like yourself, but I don't think people separate the two. Is like this is a job, income, and it also is a game, and it's fun, and it has its challenges. But at the end of the day, you are a husband and a dad, and those things generally come first. With this kind of hectic, I don't call it hectic, but when you're in season, how frequently and often are you able to be with your family, being on the road and things like that?
Yeah, preseason, January, February, you miss the most time because you're away for week stretches at a time. And then
Yep.
typically, every other weekend or so, you're gone for 2 days. And it kind of, you can look at two different perspectives of the one is you can say, wow, I'm a professional soccer player. Because of that, I have to go on the road all the time, and I'm not going to get to choose when I take my vacation.
Sure.
But I think another perspective is, for the most part, you can be home at 2:30 p.m. most days.
Sure.
Even when you have to work, you have a home game Saturday night, you can have that whole day with your family, and then you have the off season as well. So I really do think it's not like I think of some careers where it's like, wow, my heart goes out to people who are, let's say they go in the military and they're gone for a year.
Long time.
A
Yeah.
long time. So it's like we are in no way, shape, or form having to deal with that in terms of finding the balance between our careers and our family. And I'm very thankful for that.
Yeah, I think and not that most aren't, but a lot of professional athletes aren't the most humble. You clearly are. The humility probably is a big part of the foundation of why you are who you are. But it is like the longest season, I think.
It
right?
is
like
a,
relative
it is a longer,
to like
yes.
American football,
Yes.
basketball, hockey. It feels super long. And if you're in the playoffs, holy smokes! Because I think you start training probably January, and if you're in the playoffs, you might be playing into December.
Yeah. Yeah,
There's not like an off season which hopefully you guys will have that,
with the
playoff
schedule
thing.
change happening.
It's going to flip. Yep.
It's gonna flip, but you are still gonna have where you think of some of these teams as like, man, the final is like December 7th, and then because you're in the final, you're probably playing Champions Cup games. So now you're starting before the MLS regular season, and pending on when they put that Champions Cup game, some of them are right at the beginning of February. So then your report date, it's not just report and you can kind of build into it. It's like, no, you're playing real competitive games with a lot on the line very quickly for a lot of these teams that are making it to the final and then coming back around to it.
Yeah, right away. And for people that don't know, like, the Open, and there's all these kind of in-season things happening in your season.
Yes.
And then every 4 years, then there's the World Cup, and some players are lended and go here and go there. So for folks that don't know, there's multiple things happening within that same season. And that probably, I wouldn't say it's challenging. I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure it's really cool if you're able to participate in those things. But the schedule as a whole, I think, is just hectic no matter what. And then practice, like, is that daily? Is it 2 times a week? How often do you guys practice, and how long are those?
Yeah, preseason's the only time where we've ever done 2-a-days, and those are usually rarer, unless you want to count maybe a lift later. Some coaches do the training and the lift all together in one, and then you have the
Sure.
rest of the day. Some of them break it up. But in terms of like actual training sessions on the field, and I think a lot has changed in terms of data analytics and sports
Yep.
science and what they're saying because it's such a long season.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe you're going to dive into the collegiate part, but I
Yeah.
remember when I first came and started my professional career with the second team in 2022, I'd never had 2 days off in a row.
Yeah.
Like from college, like when we were in season, it's
Sure.
like if you got a day off, and then I was doing homework for 8 hours a
Exactly.
day.
You're still working.
So we had 2 days off in a row, and I thought I'm going to go work 3 or 4 months into the season. I'm going to go work on these extra bits of my game, and I ended up doing too much. And because of that, I picked up a bit of a hamstring thing, and then I missed like a day of training. And I was like, what was I trying to gain?
Sure.
But I think I was just naive to the fact that when you're in college, you can push more in preseason and in trainings because the season is so much shorter.
Yep.
Whereas you have to be a lot smarter in terms of you want to keep an upward trajectory with your fitness in your body, but you can't spike too early in the season.
Sure.
And
makes
so
sense.
I think that limits, but in terms of something, how much we train, it's usually some coaches do a 4-day build is very typical. So Tuesday will usually be a re-entry day.
Okay.
So you think small
Just getting reacclimated back for the weekend.
you have a lift, but you have small sided games. You have a competitive. It's, in my opinion, it's the best day when those days are like, okay,
Are you scrimmaging?
so like small, like 6v6 or
Okay.
5v5s are typical.
Gotcha.
Wednesday,
Full field though.
no, small
Okay.
fields.
Okay,
small
gotcha.
fields. Wednesday you go bigger. You have probably a lower body lift as well. That's like you're spiking as much as you are going to during the week.
Sure.
Where, you're going to come up and it's going to be full field. They're going to try and get you to sprint or at least hit 80-90% of your max.
Okay.
And then Thursday you come down in load, and Friday you come down, but you want to keep intensity. And then Saturday's the game. And I've had some coaches where if you're home, you're in Sunday for guys who didn't play to train or
Gotcha.
recovery. Mondays are usually off. With a new coach at St. Louis City, he likes Sunday off as a reset, family time.
Makes sense.
And then in Monday, and then for guys who played a lot of minutes Saturday, Monday's not much at all.
Okay.
And then for other guys, it's kind of another slower build. So
Gotcha.
I've seen multiple different things.
Yeah.
You go on the road and are flying back Sunday, then usually Sunday, Monday
Things
off.
are different. Yeah.
Yeah. But in terms of like a typical build over the course of the years I've been with St. Louis City, that's kind of what it looks like.
Okay. So it's equal conditioning and skill training and staying fresh and those sort of things. Because I know in some of the other leagues, like, it's a huge thing in like NBA, load management.
Yes.
Now I understand how frustrating that is for a fan. Like, this guy makes X amount, and relative to most MLS players, it's an exponential dollar amount. I get
sure.
it. But if you look at the data of the teams that have won, that in theory has worked. Most
Right.
champions as of late, which is usually Boston, Golden State, those players have rested to some extent. So I don't know how much of that is taken into account with MLS or any of those sort of leagues. But soccer is like a baseball without the grueling and the constant moving. But in terms of, it seems like daily you're doing something.
Yes.
And I don't think that's the case in all sports, right? Like, because football would be a nightmare. You can't hit each other 7 days a week. You die.
Yes.
So with the new coach, I mean, if I can ask, is it that much different than what you're used to previously with the previous couple guys we had before?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I would say in terms of there's going to be constants across all coaching regimes. You're not going to be
Sure.
successful unless there's a collective team unity, unless there's work ethic, there's fighting in duels. There's a higher focus point on with the ball specifically in our half
Okay.
in terms of how do we attract the opposition to then unbalance them to play through them to create opportunities going forward.
Certainly.
Whereas when I started, it was, okay, we're going to have a high emphasis on transition.
Okay.
So how can we're going to constantly try to be turning transitions into goals. And now it's like, okay, not that we don't, we talked about transitions.
Just less reactive, more proactive, like almost baiting them in, catching them in the wrong spots, and then you moving forward and where you guys are setting when they come to you, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of like if you wait, like if I pass a ball, over to the window and the defender is standing right there, well, then now it's a short distance for him to travel.
Sure.
Whereas, like, okay, if I can wait, and there's a whole bunch of nuance to it. There's times, of course, to speed it up and keep the ball moving, and there's times where it's like, well, maybe I even pause on the ball, wait for this guy to press me, and then make the pass.
Okay.
Because then maybe it's not even so that the guy I'm passing to can find the right option, but maybe it's he then finds a bounce pass because maybe this guy's pressing me and he's covering a guy that I'm not able to pass to. So it's like this idea of finding the third man of, can I pass to him to find him? And now this third guy is facing forward and can see the game.
Makes sense.
So this focus and this emphasis, we definitely didn't have nearly as much.
Sure.
It's the previous coaches knew about, finding a third man, of course.
That just wasn't one of the emphasis points.
Exactly.
Like, yeah, gotcha.
Exactly.
Do you think that's successful? Like, I feel like, and I don't know anything. Just watching, observing, watching every game, going to them when I can. But do you think, and I'm not just talking about the record or the amount of goals or assists or shots on target, do you think as a whole that is working or should soon work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like I'm going to answer every question yes and no.
No, you're good.
Which is funny, but on one hand, you look at the Columbus team that won it all in 2023, I believe, won Leagues Cup in 2024. This is what they were doing at an extremely high level, and they were winning championships.
That's a proven model. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you think of, okay, well, Miami had a big emphasis with the ball. They also have Messi, and they won it all. So
bit,
that changes the game a bit.
Him, Salazar.
But then you have seen like LAFC has been a highly successful transition team over the past number of years.
Gotcha.
So I think it's less of a, this is the way to championships and that's not the way.
Okay.
And more of, can you get a whole group bought in to doing something one way so that they know when now I'm getting pressure that I have to have this guy showing. Otherwise, I have no options.
That makes sense.
And and maybe in a different system, it's, well, keep the ball moving. Don't end up in that situation. Let's maybe not take the risks this close to our goal.
Sure.
And it'll be kind of a risk reward idea.
Gotcha.
But I would say more of the collectiveness is bigger than this is the right way or this is the wrong way.
Sure. And also probably has to do with the specific players you have.
For sure.
And their experience with it and how comfortable they are with it. So I think that's a tactical piece of it. I think the game has a lot of different pieces, and you would know them better than me, but I'm sure there's tactical and there's skillful and there's mental. Yeah. Which is also like, probably ties into emotional and the way you feel and all these other pieces. So like not playing, not starting. I know recently, like you were looking at getting some clock with City 2 and things like that, but not starting with the quote big team like you have from day one since you've been here. Mentally, is that challenging, and in what ways, and how do you kind of combat and deal with that to stay ready and motivated?
Yeah, it was the start of this year was, I actually started it. I was injured for the first week or two of preseason, which felt like I just shot myself in the foot. It was just really unfortunate, but you got to train to get ready for the season, and then kind of realizing like, oh, it's not. The previous 3 years, I'd been more in the picture in terms of like either going to be starting or right there in terms of for first team minutes. And this year, I wasn't. Sure. And I would say it's been a constant mental battle on. I've been doing it for years, but still my mind wants to go to things that I can't control.
Yep.
And there's decisions being made outside of my control, and I'm constantly having to reorient myself of like, what can I control? And I think the other part that is important for me too is recognizing I can be bitter and moody and upset. And I've seen guys do that. And I think it's just going to make my life more miserable.
Certainly.
And so I choose to attack the day, and I choose to, work to try to continue to get better and be ready, because I've seen the paradigm shift so fast. Yeah. In multiple years now.
You never know.
You never know what's going to happen. But yeah, it's been tough, and I'm thankful to have, my wife is a constant sounding board for coming home and even finding the right balance in that of I don't want to take, there's some days that are harder than the rest. Of like, I feel really frustrated with my playing situation.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I think like, I don't want to take that home, so I'm not going to talk about it.
Yep.
But it comes home with me.
And she probably wants you to talk about it.
Yes.
Right? Like, is there a better place to talk about anything career-wise than with your wife and in the, the peace and quiet of your own home? Because it's probably awkward for the guys around you. You don't want to just, hey, man, I'm not playing, especially if they're people that are taking some of those minutes. But you like the guys. You guys all get along.
Yes.
It's always that weird thing of that competition within the same team when you really are competing with other teams. Like that never goes away, right? And I think that exists in many forms of careers, not just in athletics. But if there's one place you would like to think you could talk about it comfortably, it would be at home.
Yes.
And she probably gives you perspective, and I met her at the Bowling for the Little.
Yes.
Super nice. But I think that the number one thing for me as an outsider, like I never personally saw anything that would go, oh, Kyle doesn't deserve minutes, right? Like he played great.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
As long as you know that, and I'm sure you do know that, and I'm sure she tells you something similar, I think it's probably just a matter of time before whatever shakes loose. But it's got to be difficult because also like at Missouri State, like you're a beast, and then you come to City and you're killing it. And the first year success thing, I don't think that fans talk about that a lot. They talk about it, and it's why I don't participate in like a lot of the Facebook groups or the Reddit groups.
Right.
Because I am just not built ever, like in life, I don't like negativity. It's just not my thing, right? Like I try to be an optimist. People that know me well know I can be pessimistic about some things. But one thing that's like really important to me, going back to what you first said, is that I can be really upset. I can be angry, frustrated, bitter, moody. I can have all of those things. And those are natural things that will exist no matter what.
For sure.
But everyone doesn't need to know it unless it can somehow be productive and I can turn it into something that's good. But most people, I don't want to say most, I don't know most, a lot of City fans, I think, took that first year and just assumed that it was always going to be that way. Other teams get better.
Yes.
Other teams may have the exact same players and have improvements with the coaching style, the strategy, tactics, the way they kind of train or whatever. And I don't think our team got worse. Like before we were on air, I said, it's clear like your skill level from what I saw last, nothing declined.
Yeah.
Right. It's just one of those things like a macro thing that you don't have a lot of control over. So when you can't control it, are there things that you can do in practice or just in general that maybe you get the nod? Is there anything that you do or don't do, or you just show up and do what you always do?
Yeah, I try and show up and do what I always do.
Because you don't want to be like, look at me, I'm ready. They're like, you know you're ready.
Yeah, which is like, I think it goes without saying that like I'm dying to get on the field.
Oh, yeah.
But like I've had those conversations, but it's not like I'm rehashing those conversations every week. And, knowing like, okay, this is the play style. So when I'm doing extra work, I have a greater emphasis on how can I improve to fit better in this play style.
That makes sense.
So that would say like the one change that I would make. Yeah. And then the other part too, I want to touch on it as well. I think it was, important just even that I say it is especially the guys that I've been with and even guys that I haven't on the team are incredibly uplifting and encouraging.
Oh yeah.
And because so many guys have been in my situation because like I said, the paradigm can shift so quickly that it's like, they know the frustration I'm feeling and they are like connected to me and trying to support me and encourage me. And, I've been very grateful for multiple guys and the words that they've shared with me.
Everybody I've met on City, and now it's a lot because of, autograph signings or charitable events or whatever, things like this. The nicest group of people collectively ever, just good guys, period.
Yeah.
So I could see them as being like super supportive.
Yes.
And the other thing is like, again, with fans, I'm not going to just speak for all fans. We have a great fan base. I'm not saying we don't, but they can cling to like 5 minutes of play, right? Or a singular play, determined as good or bad as a reason why. And I think it's noisy. I think it's awesome that you're not on social media for that reason.
Yeah. So many guys are looking at
not that they're
that
saying
stuff,
anything bad about you. I'm just saying as a whole, like if I was a professional athlete and on Twitter or Instagram, I would not like it.
Yeah.
Because you could be messy and he can make a mistake and someone somewhere will have a lot to say about that, right?
Yeah.
And not that the coaching staff or anyone makes decisions is, even paying attention to those things, But the masses, I think, are really entrenched in what have you done for me lately and the optics. Because also we will never understand the style of play in Major League Soccer like you will because you're in the league.
Yeah.
Right. So I just think kind of some of those outside views can certainly play a role. And you're handling it well, obviously. So I'm obviously hoping you play.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you. No, I appreciate that.
Do you think injuries are a part of the game? Like you can't change it. Do you think that lessened your chance like early on, kind of like vying for like time with the new coach? Not that he didn't know what he had when he came on board or hadn't looked at tape or,
Yeah.
Do you think that like, okay, I'm starting with Kyle's over here. I can't worry about him right now because he's hurt.
Yes.
Let me dig on these guys and like, ooh, I really like this guy and that guy. And then maybe it lessened your chance no matter what you did. Is that a thing? Or
I think that's a fair point.
Yeah.
I
mean, who knows, right?
Who knows? And I don't need the answer to that, but I remember when my injury happened, I'm like, this is going to put me behind the 8 ball, especially because it's a new style of play.
Yeah.
It's a new coach. You're seeing everybody for the first time. So then when I get back with the group, like anybody, you're a little bit rustier because you haven't been training full go. And now you're trying to come into the group. And now his first impression of you is not the whole group kind of shaking off the rust together. It's now the whole group's growing in the style of play. And you're coming in, maybe shaking off a bit of rust, and getting your feet under you. And you're like, man, I hope I didn't give a bad first impression.
Gotcha.
As you're trying to get ready and get going, and then all of a sudden preseason's over.
Yep.
And like he obviously has to make hard decisions all the time.
Oh yeah.
But I was frustrated, and I immediately thought about it when my calf injury happened. Was like, this is not the way. Like of all the seasons, this is not the season I needed to start. To start this way.
Yeah, for sure. How is the calf? Is it 100%?
It's good. Yeah,
okay.
It's 100%.
And what's your contract situation currently?
The contract's up at the end of this year.
Which is why this is the year to not.
This is another reason why this was not a good year to have the.
You'll land wherever you land, and I'm really hoping you land here. I feel pretty good about that. I mean, again, I don't know anything, but you've just been super consistent, right? Like you're like the Rock back there. You've always been there. And I feel like City's had a lot of movement because that's just the way the world works. But also, and I don't want to mess this up, but economically, the chances that City's performance is going to severely impact the amount of revenue is a thing, right? Like so, or I should say is not a thing. Like I don't think people are going to stop going to the games tomorrow if we don't win a bunch of games is what I'm getting at. So they are probably very profitable no matter what. And I think are putting a good product on the field this year and the year previous and the year previous. So I would like to think that City wants people that show up, work hard. And I know all the guys do, but they're not out taking swings at like Neymar, right? Like, so, and that's not going to happen. And that's cool because it's a soccer city. So this city isn't going to just go blow a significant chunk of the payroll on one or two people. So I do think when they sign these contracts, they're thought out and they're very tactful about the way that they do it. And you would seem to be a really good fit because I'm sure whatever you get, it's deserved. It's definitely, will be rewarding. And I don't think you're going to like absolutely break the bank like a Messi. So I think you're a good fit for the program as a whole. It seems to make sense. So I would like to think that something's offered and, moving forward. Do you know when, if this is too intrusive, tell me, but I'm curious.
These
is it middle year? Is it beginning year? Is
typically
it end of year?
happen towards the end.
Towards the end.
Towards the end of the year. And it's ever since I've come here, and it's different because my wife's family's from here, so it's a different perspective.
They're from St. Louis or from Missouri?
From St. Louis.
Really?
Yes.
Where at?
Fenton area.
I didn't know that, man.
Yeah. So
I had
when
no
I say,
idea.
people say, "Oh, where would you want to be if you could play
St. Louis
MLS?" And I was like, St. Louis.
How
and I
cool.
legitimately, and I'm not
And
saying
Missouri
other guys,
State isn't far. Like it makes sense.
Not that other guys don't love being here,
Yeah,
but in terms of
you
like if they had to choose the same contract, the same team,
They may go somewhere else.
there's a chance they go somewhere else, and
Yeah.
that's totally justified.
Yep.
But it's like when I say like, oh no, I love being a
Here.
part of St. Louis City
Yeah.
for multiple reasons. Like
I had no
feel
idea.
like this, this is home.
So was
to
she
me
like
and to our
born
family.
raised here, or
Born
was
and
she
raised here? Yes.
No
and then met
crap.
her at Missouri State.
That's so crazy.
And then I was told her, I mean, it was we started dating 2019.
Yeah.
And I told her, and I don't know what she thought. I was like, yeah, I want to do the professionals, athlete thing when I'm done college.
Yeah.
And I don't remember, because she's kind of like, oh, what do you want to do after?
Was
And I
she like, okay, whatever?
Yeah, I think that she's kind of like, okay,
She's
sure.
like, you're going to be an accountant.
Yeah,
It's cool,
yeah,
dude.
yeah, sure. It's good you have a dream. You'll be doing tax returns. And I'm like, yeah, it'll take me somewhere in North America.
Yeah.
But it won't be St. Louis because there's no team there.
And
so she was kind of like,
Wild.
oh, this will be hard because she'd have to leave her family and all these things. And then all of a sudden,
They have a team.
the year right when I end is right when City 2 starts. And,
Crazy.
And right away when my season's done, like John Hackworth is on the phone.
So I was going to ask, so they call you
Yes.
and say, hey, okay, I was curious how that works.
Yeah, so he had seen some stuff on me. He actually came
watched.
NCAA tournament game against Creighton.
Nice.
Actually, the last game I played, he came and watched. And
Both of my parents went to Creighton.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm related, but go. Yeah.
Yeah. So he came and watched, and then he was the one who called, and it was. I just remember the phone call. He was like, "Yeah, I mean, we have," and I didn't even really know about MLS Next Pro. Like, the league starting, I didn't really know this was a thing. It was kind of revamping because they had second teams before, but they played
wasn't like this
in the USL Championship.
Exactly.
And so they were trying to like change it. And he's like, "Look, you'll be signing a second team contract with an option for the first team, for a first team where there's no players on it yet."
Yeah,
like, in St. Louis.
Yeah.
And
You're
I'm
like,
like,
okay, sounds
I'm
good.
not going to get a better deal. He's like, oh, do you have any questions?
You're like, no, just send it over.
Yeah, where do I sign? Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. So like, see, that's fate, man.
Yeah.
We'll make this happen. I'll start under an alias. I'll start like some Facebook groups and some Reddit, like re-sign Kyle groups.
Hey.
We'll get it done. When you're like stressed out, and again, I don't want to spend too much time on the playing time. Like, are there activities or practices or hobbies or the things you do? Do you pray? Do you meditate? Do you just talk with family? Do you play or practice or do anything outside away from your facilities? What do you do physically or actively, aside from obviously having the right state of mind, right mindset that keeps you where you need to be, that when your number's called, you'll be good?
Yeah. Yeah. A couple of things jump to mind right away. Prayer.
Yep.
I pray in the way, and I try and focus on, I think even you call it, okay, let's call it a really hard day of the game is that night, and you're not rostered. So you go in and maybe it's a run and a lift, and you can think, this sucks.
Yeah.
I want to be playing in the game.
And I'm not going to play.
And then you think of, how many people they have to, if they want to work out and be healthy, they have to go at 5 a.m. before their job, or they have to go at 5 p.m. when their job's done. And I get to go in the middle of the day and I get to finish it off with a sauna session or something, which is good for me.
Sure.
And it's like, oh man, this really still is a
Pretty solid.
blessing. Yeah. And it's like, I'm thankful for that. And so I'm like, when I pray, I try and focus on, God, I'm thankful you've given me, like, I get to pursue my dreams, and I get to be paid to do it. Would be one. And the second one was, like, I'm a competitive guy. So I need that competitive juices need to come out somehow. So I love board games, card games, and I love pickleball. So I play pickleball with some friends.
Where do you play? I mean, I don't want people to come up there and stalk you and try to, like, have you gone to Chicken Pickle?
I have.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's
one
cool.
of my friends works there. So we've gone to play there. We've gone to Lindenwood's campus.
Lindenwood's good.
They have like 10 courts. We've gone to McNair Park. We've gone Creve Coeur Park.
Creve Coeur's good. I'm at Creve Coeur all the time, like running and walking. But there's a new one. It used to be called Mueller Park. It's in Newtown, St. Charles, but now it's called Sport 360. They just redid the field, like $1 million renovation. But I just ran them like, there's 20 pickleball fields. So
20.
I'm exaggerating.
Yeah,
Probably
but
like 8 or 10. But you can't go anywhere, and they're not there anymore.
Yes.
Like, it's a thing.
Yeah.
So when you go back, like, before Missouri State, what was that like? So when you were a young player, we were talking before we got on air about, like, my son and kind of his journey and what I don't know if you know what it's like now, but was it super competitive? Did you still have like those kind of select level teams? Was it heavy travel? Is it different from where you came from compared to like what it's like in, say, the Midwestern United States? Or what was that like as just a boy, 10, 12, 15, before high school, before college? What was that like the daily routine outside of obviously school?
Yeah, so it wasn't called like a select team. So I had you played on your there were 5 teams. There's only 5 teams. There's only 5. maybe I'm thinking now when I'm 12, 13, 14, and, I was in the one district. And so it'd be kind of the best players. And there was teams you had to try out to make. And then from there, when you were 13, they would have provincials or nationals. So you could make this, the select team would be like you're on the provincial team. So you're one of the 20 best players in the province. And you would travel and you'd play obviously Manitoba is not the biggest province. So Ontario was always really good. And British Columbia was always really good. And so we would play these other provinces or travel actually to play some of the states select teams. And then when I got to high school, because we didn't have, an MLS team in our backyard in our academy system, for the Manitoba kids, there's something called the National Development Center. And they took like 6 boys and 6 girls from grade 9 through 12. And we all met every morning before school and trained with he was the youth.
Every day?
Yeah, Monday through Friday.
Wow. Okay.
So he was the youth national team coach and a couple other coaches.
That's cool.
And as you can imagine,
probably intense.
My growth went like this.
I would think so.
Because
for sure.
You're, 14 or 15. You're one of the maybe 6 best players in the province for your age. But when you start out, you're playing with everyone who's older than you.
Yeah.
The best at that age.
Yeah.
So those first 2 years, I just remember I had to learn and grow so much.
Oh, to stay
relevant
and be on that team,
to be able to compete. And it wasn't, and then we'd play different men's teams. So I'd be, 14 years old playing a men's team. When you have your scrimmages, because it's like all you would have was these 24 guys, and you could do inter squad scrimmages. But when you actually play a game, you'd be finding men's teams in Winnipeg. And there's a lot of growth that happens when you're a kid and you're playing men's teams. Yeah, they're bigger than you, they're stronger than you.
For sure.
And it's like, okay, you're gonna have to learn how to fight and be savvy and all kinds of things.
So, because I know here, like the playing up is what they call it, right? Like you're playing up a year. Like that sounds drastically different. Like that's a big gap.
It's like you were playing up 1 year, 2 year, and 3. It's the first year. Yeah, you're playing up like
quite a bit.
Yeah, quite a bit.
Is that standard in Canada? That be before, or just your specific province?
Probably just where
because of the lack of.
I'm from. Whereas if you think of like if you're in a Vancouver or in Ontario or in Quebec, and you're the best player in that province, which the competition's even thicker there because there's so many more kids playing. Then you're going to be kind of like here. You're going to be You're probably going to be in St. Louis City's academy system. Yeah. And kids develop at all different rates. I'm not saying if you're not, that doesn't mean you're not playing at a high level. And then probably within that, you've got a couple kids like we have here where they might be a U15, but they'll play U17 because they are progressing past. Like they're already showing where they have the U17. They might be training some with City's next pro team.
Makes sense.
And like we've had this all throughout where these kids who are, overachieving for their age bracket have opportunity or specific. And that's what's nice with the academy setup is like the next step is always there. Yeah. Like until you reach the MLS first team, like the next step for you to keep going if you're an academy kid, like if you like outshine at every level, it's like there's another step right there at that facility for you to make it onto.
That makes sense. Do you get back to Canada? Like how often?
Not
often.
I mean, Christmas time I'll go back for a week or so, and then now
I'm sure during the season it's just a lot.
Yeah, now we have this break for the World Cup, so I'll get.
How long is the break? It's a long break. 6-7 weeks.
Yeah, something like that. We'll get 3 weeks off,
and then the Open is, or this cup. It's how long is that? This Open Cup thing.
So right now we're in with
seeded.
Yeah, 4 games to go. So I think round of 16 is now.
Okay.
And so kind of like when you keep going.
Just kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, max 4 more games.
What do you plan on doing during the World Cup break? Do you have like stuff you want to do? You're just gonna chill or?
Yeah. So being from Canada, when I say, from Canada, people, there's 2 spots that they say, I've been to Banff.
Okay.
Which is a national park with mountains near Calgary. Yeah. Or I've been to Niagara Falls.
Okay. So you're going to both?
I haven't been to either. I haven't been to either. So the only traveling I really did in Canada was I went to the lake with my family, or I'd go on different. Soccer takes you across the country.
Yeah,
so I've been
busy.
across for soccer, but I've never been to either. So my wife and my son are going to go to Banff.
Sweet.
See my aunt in Calgary and uncle, and then we're going to go back to Winnipeg, see my family for a bit.
There you go.
Come back here.
Cool.
Yeah.
What's your favorite restaurant in St. Louis?
Oh, there's two that the one we go to most is
Okay.
Sushi Eye.
Okay.
All you can eat sushi. The one in St. Charles is, yeah, I'm getting a shout out here.
Yeah.
Is buy one get one 50% off
That's a
on
good deal.
Tuesday
Oh
nights.
yeah, that's
And
on Sunbelt, right?
Yes,
That is,
yeah, it's on
Been
Sunbelt.
there.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, more than
Oh
once.
man, love that one. And then Twisted Tree if we're going more upscale.
So Twisted Tree, I didn't even know this. So, and I might be wrong, but I just found out that Twisted Tree is owned by the people that own Cybergs, that own Nick off camera. People are wondering where I'm looking. That own Twisted Tavern too. So we actually from here, me and Katie, we went to Twisted Tavern a couple weeks ago. Twisted Tree's good. It's real good.
I mean,
What are you getting from there?
oh, I mean, I've never not gotten the filet.
Okay,
But
so
we always honestly, I think they have the best salads I've ever had in my life.
So
you get the
someone said
salads to
this.
start,
I
it's
can't
incredible.
tell you. I don't. I feel like it. Look, just because I don't remember doesn't mean it's not great. But
Right.
I went there for like a work meeting. Not this, my day job, and everyone's like, "Did you have the salad?" And I'm like, "Shoot, did I have the salad?" And they're like, "You would remember." And I'm like, "I think I might have actually had the salad though."
Oh
So,
no, this is
yeah, I'll go back.
You got to go back.
I will. There's some other steakhouses. I would say, and you maybe Fleming's, Capitol Grill, Annie Gunn's. I feel like 801 Chop House just announced they're going out of business.
Really?
It's a bummer. Or what was the Final Cut? It's inside the. It's not called Harrah's. What's it called? Hollywood. That one. Charlie Gito's. Really good. There's a lot of them. I'm gonna send you a full list of steakhouses.
Okay.
Very good. Billy G's.
Billy G's.
Best
Okay.
patio too in St. Louis. And then Stony River,
No, I haven't been to that.
Chesterfield, right off Olive. You live in Creve Coeur, right?
Yes.
So you live near me.
Yes.
So if you just went down Olive, where the old Chesterfield Mall is now like demolished, I don't know what it is or going to be, like lofts or something. It's right next. It's attached to that Drury Inn Hotel.
Okay.
Like bang for your buck.
Right.
Like the
I
quality of
appreciate-
steak for the money.
Yes.
Stony River is super underrated.
Hmm.
Super good. Super good. What else do you do in St. Louis besides pickleball? Like, do you guys get out? I know you go to church. Is there anything else you guys do that you try to, any activities, just low key, chill, or what do you do?
Yeah, we go. I mean, we go for walks. I know that's not super exciting.
No,
I mean,
I love walks.
we've been to Forest Park.
You
I
been
mean,
to Castlewood? Do you hike at all?
we've done rarely. We've done a couple hikes, but
Okay.
not too many. But there actually are some decent hiking
Castlewood's
spots.
a great state park.
We've been to
it's awesome.
Castlewood, Forest Park, of course. Yeah, I don't think too much other. I mean, going and seeing family and friends, and
Yeah.
Or when
Have you
when
made
family,
a good like nucleus of like friend group here? Are they
Yes.
all soccer folks? Have you like, do you have neighbors? Do you have like buddies that? And obviously, if she's from Fenton, she's probably already had like a group of a core
Yes.
group of people.
Yeah,
So-
so even there's if I hang out with guys on the team
Yeah.
outside of soccer, which is cool.
Do you have like a
there's-
bestie?
Uh,
And no, you don't. I mean, it doesn't mean the other guys aren't still cool, but do you have like a best bud on the team,
I don't know about best bud.
or
I
someone
mean,
you talk to or hang out with the most?
I would say like I go to church with Edu and with Chris.
Yep.
And so like connect with them on multiple levels.
Sure.
And with Chris and I, we've got sons that are a couple weeks apart,
Mm-hmm.
and so for the boys to get to grow up and. Now they're starting when
That's
they
cool.
get together. Even when we're not there, then our wives will get together with the kids, and
Sure.
they're starting to actually interact more. They're
Yeah.
around 11 months, and I've known Edu since he came in the middle.
Mhm.
He's been here since the middle of 2022.
Yeah, he was.
Um,
He's a ground level.
Yeah, ground level guy.
Which I mean, you technically are too.
Yes, I
Yeah,
would be ground
yeah,
level guy as well.
sure.
And then I think through our church too, we met some people in 2022 that had this similar love of like just hanging out, playing games, or in that sense of like doing what I like to do
Yeah.
outside of soccer, they like to do as well. And it's a relationship that's not or relationships that aren't built on soccer.
Yeah.
Because there's times like, you can have a whole
That's hard.
evening, especially that first year, whereas like it was a roller coaster of feels like the highest I've ever been.
Mhm.
We're winning, I'm playing, we're doing well, and then all of a sudden you lose a game and it's like maybe you had a bad game and it's frustrating, and then you play well and you win, or
Mhm.
like it was just a roller coaster, and it's all when you're meeting new people, it's all everyone was wanting to talk about.
Yeah.
And I think like if you're doing something as a family, then my wife gets missed if people just want to, and I don't want to just talk about
That
soccer
makes sense.
all the time
Yep.
with my friends outside of
Yeah.
my job, which I love, but there's a time and a place, which I'm thankful for. And I'm thankful for the fan interactions, but at times you just want to shut off and not think about it. Yes.
Because I'm not a professional athlete, but I know if I was living and breathing that and that was my occupation, I would like a moment.
Yeah.
Like, hey, we take a day off, right?
Yes.
And I think that's one of the reasons why I always say how you guys are so cool and humble. Because I've talked to a lot of people that know me. I did the autograph thing for a really long time. I've kind of stepped away from it mostly for a lot of different reasons. Mostly, I don't like the people that get the things and they're on eBay in 2 seconds, right? Like I don't love that. Right?
Yeah.
It is what it is. It's part of it. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
With that said, though, I also know that it can burn out the athletes. Like not just like cheapen your signature, but it's also like people get like legitimately like upset if you don't sign something or take a picture, and I don't think people understand at the end of the game what that's like when you're walking around and you're looking up, especially if it's a L and not a W.
Yes.
And there's still 8,000 of you here. I'm not signing 8,000 things,
dude. The line never ends. Yeah.
Like, bro. And then that last guy hates you. And it's like, what?
Yes.
How does it even exist? So like, even though those aren't your buddies, you're probably like, dude, can we just not talk about soccer right now?
Yeah.
So I think it's kind of cool that you have, buddies on the team that's not all you talk about.
Yes.
Because I think that would get old pretty quick.
Yeah.
Like so if you have the day off, what is an ideal day off for you? Is it just, because you don't have a ton of just complete days off that aren't travel.
Yeah.
Right? Like, or there's not something.
I mean, ideal, it starts off with my son slept good during the night. Like he slept, he did not wake up during the night.
Yeah.
I mean, my wife and I would do brunch together sometimes, make that.
Do you have a favorite brunch spot?
Favorite brunch spot?
You been to the Shack?
I don't think so.
You gotta add that, man.
Gotta add that. Yeah.
The Shack. It's Olive and I don't know what part of Creeport's not huge. I know what part you're in, but it's a plaza with like TJ Maxx and Marshalls and some other Deerbergs, Smoothie King.
Yeah.
It's called the Shack. It's right next to Petco. Incredible.
Okay. Yeah, I gotta check.
Incredible.
Maybe I have.
There's a bunch of them. There's like 4 or 5 of them.
I think in that part once for brunch, and it was really good.
Super good.
Which for me, it's like you can't miss with brunch. If I'm having an omelet or pancakes or whatever it is. But yeah, I would say ideal day is we get out, play some pickleball, and then get back, hang out with some friends, play some card games, board games, just chill out.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
When you were at Missouri State, was there a certain point where you knew that professional soccer was a real possibility? Like I know you told your wife, like, I want to do it, but like you knew, like, hey, I could actually go do this. And I know you weren't sure about the layers of St. Louis or where it was going to happen. And I'm in love with her, and I don't want to get too far away from STL. But just knowing that you could physically, mentally, emotionally, like you had the talent level that you could compete with people in professional soccer. When was that? Was that before college? Was that during? Like, when did you know, like, hey, I could do this if I apply myself and keep going?
I think 2019 was a big year for Missouri State.
Yeah.
We went like
impressive
16-0-0 in the regular season.
Yeah,
we ended up losing in the conference tournament final, and so we didn't get a home game in the NCAA tournament. We beat Denver, which actually Denver's striker at the time is now San Jose striker, Preston Judd, which I'm sure the fan base doesn't love him right now. But it was like, I remember battling him then, and like then now he's been a couple of different spots in the MLS. We end up getting knocked out in overtime against UCF. But then the kind of the follow-up from that was, we had a very talented team and roster. And there's just the way of college sports. A couple of guys got recognized more than others. And I didn't even know it was coming to the extent for me that it was. But it was like, I got Defensive Player of the Year. I was second team All-American that year. I was like, this is
like, happening.
This is happening. Like I
can compete.
I never really, I didn't think about it. I don't think at all during the season. It was just glued into what are we doing as a group? We're trying to win the next game. And then when the season ended, it was like, I'm an All-American. Like this is there's some really good level college players. It's kind of, and our team is good enough where it's like we're on the map now. And it was after that year our forward got drafted to Minnesota. He had like 15 goals for us that year. And it was like, this is like, there's a pathway opening up here. And then then my next 2 years, we were NCAA tournament teams both those years. I think like 12-2 22, spring of 21, made the Sweet 16, and then like 17 and 2 in the fall of 21. So like we had.
I mean, holistically,
record-wise,
you guys were very good.
We had, and so by the thing is 2019 was really like, oh, like your team was good enough to put me individually on the map as a player.
Sure.
It's like, this was like, oh, this could be a real thing.
Yeah, and it allowed you to stand out and obviously attract offers.
Yes.
You talked about, Preston's kind of travel, and it, again, we don't want to spend too much time on it, but have you thought about what that looks like? If it becomes kind of a journeyman thing, is that something that you hopefully aren't overly focused on, but is that a concern? Like the Tim Parker thing, right?
Right.
Everyone thinks about the Tim thing, and it was way bigger than what Tim's skill set was or his contribution to the team, which were great.
Yes.
But it was so sour because of like the outward personality, and he's just such a nice dude.
Yeah.
Right. And then it was chronicled on Apple TV's documentary.
Right.
So then you're like, oh my goodness. Like now you're like doubly sad.
Yes.
Right. Everyone was already like, this sucks.
Yeah.
And we understand the business, right? Like there's points of it, there's age, and there's it's like, have you thought about what that's like? Like, I'm not saying you would retire or something, but like, if it comes to a point, hopefully not, that you are offered something within the league that is not in St. Louis, I'm sure you don't know how you respond to that right now, but have you thought about that? Is that a concern?
I have. No, it's like I want to keep playing.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah.
You'd have to.
But you do get, I actually think the Tim thing, I remember I watched that documentary. I remember when they were filming it.
And it was sucked the most was his kid's in another state and he's on like FaceTime.
Yes.
I'm like, bro.
Yes.
That's awful. And it's just so sad.
And Rory was like
very
year
young
or less than a year because he was born
similar to the
August,
yours.
I think, of 23, because I remember Tim missed the Orlando game.
Yeah.
And you just got to see like, oh, he goes ahead on his own. I mean, this
his
is
own apartment, just gone. Yeah.
And just away from his wife and son. So that part is hard.
It's very similar.
Very hard. Yes.
That's why I hate asking the question, but it's like, shoot, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
Ish. But obviously, let's hope that doesn't happen. But I would assume you want to keep playing.
Yes.
Okay. Do you have ideal places, and you may not say them out loud, that's fine, that you would want to play if it was in St. Louis?
Yes.
Are you going to tell me?
I don't know if I'll say them on air. Yeah. But no, there's some spots where it's like,
that makes sense.
Yeah. And like I've been in the league for a couple of years now, so I know guys in different cities, and you've heard about different playing philosophies and different, what does the guy think about the coach here and the city, and there's parts that appeal to me more, being like, I was in Winnipeg, the middle of Canada. I was been in Missouri State, Springfield, Missouri, St. Louis. I've been kind of in that bubble of kind of the Midwest of Canada and then the Midwest of the U.S. And
not too big, not too small.
Kind of the pros of being in a city like that.
Sure,
I enjoy.
This is a hardworking town.
Yes.
Like, it's funny. I talk to people that have, like, my oldest sister is from Chicago, big city. And she was at one point looking, she's got a couple degrees and very qualified. She was Atlanta, really like senior position with Coca-Cola. And she's like, I'm looking. And I started this rattling off all these companies in St. Louis. She was floored by it. Like, I rattled off like 15 just huge companies. Yeah. Express Scripts and Anheuser-Busch and Worldwide Technology and Energizer, Emerson, just going through all these very large companies. I had no idea. I'm like, St. Louis is a weird town, but a great town in the fact that it has the metropolitan, it has suburbia, it has these various counties and townships. So it's kind of like a big city. And when you're in downtown and when you're by the stadium, you feel like it's a big city. Yeah. But it also has kind of that small town feel that's not very far from rural. It's a weird kind of microcosm with St. Louis is this little big or big little city. I think it'd be a great place to be an athlete. Yes. Like for a million years, I know collectively as St. Louis Cardinals fans, we've all gotten pretty spoiled and maybe don't go to the games as much and all that. But for 100 years or something, the quote best fans in baseball. Like I think City has a lot of great fans. Like I know I talked earlier, but that's just usually those online trolls. But most City fans I know are diehard.
Yes.
Like the people that came to Bowling for the Lou this year and last year and your signing and next signing, it's usually the same people. And they're very supportive. So like if it was me, again, not a professional athlete, this would be a great place to play, whether it was the Blues or the Cardinals or City. So,
and that's what I hear too when guys will say, "Oh, this." Well, occasionally guys will bring up something on social media.
yeah.
But in all my experiences, I found that's not indicative of the fan base and interactions that I have with people.
Yeah.
You know, actually outside in St. Louis when you see them, it's like they are fans and they're supportive and they, you know, they're encouraging. And it's like, yeah, of course, there's people online, and they've got the right to voice their opinion online.
It's a little aggressive though.
Yeah,
it's
some
kind of ridiculous.
I'm sure some can be, but.
And what sucks is when it's like former players or media personalities. It's like, dude, like, come on.
Yeah.
The regular fan though, you kind of just like, whatever. What do you expect, right?
Yes.
Like I was talking to Simon a week or two ago about him coming on here, and I said something to the effect of like, you guys like outplayed them. It's just a matter of time. And like, I think he probably thought that was like me being, I really believe that.
Yeah.
And I believed it so much last year, right? Like there were so many times last year where I'm like, oh my God, they've dominated the pace of play. That team just got a good bounce or lucky ball. And you don't want to point to those pieces because I know everyone wants to point to results.
Yes.
But like as a whole, I've never felt like St. Louis City had a quote bad team. I've never thought that, right?
Yeah.
So that is what it is. So when playing is done, what does the world look like for you? I know that's a ways away. You know, whether it's 5 years, 10 years, what is it you want to do? What do you think you'll be doing? Is it something you've thought about? I know that's way down the road. That's not next year, but several years later, what do you think that looks like for you? And what do you want it to look like?
Yeah. I mean, my background, I've got my master's in accounting because I was at Missouri State for so long. And then over the past couple of years, I took and passed all 4 of the CPA exams.
There you go.
And in 2022, I was actually doing both. I was with City 2, and I was going in.
I didn't know that actually.
To
found that online. I did that research.
I was doing tax returns. And that was really helpful because just with how hectic soccer's been my whole life, I've never had time for an internship.
Yep.
And so to actually get the opportunity to do tax returns, not just study and take exams and do school, but like actually
do the work.
Actually doing tax returns, and this is what the actual process looks like. It was very helpful in one sense of like, I can't just do that the rest of my life.
Sure.
I recognize like I like to be around people, and there is a social element. So I'm interested in some type of, you know, tax. My specialty would be tax, but in terms of helping people, financial advisor, management, that type of thing.
See, I love that. So I'm obviously not going to give you any advice because I don't know that I'm qualified, but no matter what happens with the MLS, hopefully you stay with City, you could always come back to St. Louis and open a firm and you'd crush it.
Yeah.
I was talking, Cody Schrader, former Mizzou player. I'm like, you could have any job you want in St. Louis, right? It doesn't matter what you do professionally, right? Like if you just have that kind of like, I don't want to call it fan base, but like people know you, trust you, like you. So there's always something after, which is awesome because, you know, the prime or the life cycle of an athlete, I don't think people understand it. Now I know it's a little bit different if you're a starting quarterback, you know, like Josh Allen for the Bills, right? Or you're LeBron James for the Lakers. Like I get that, the amount of wealth that comes in, sure. But I don't know if everyone fully understands the burden of tax if you have any sort of publicist or any sort of PR, or the other layers and how short, quite frankly, the prime is for a professional athlete.
Yeah.
Even some people in MLB, NHL, NBA, right, NFL, they may play 4 years. And I don't think they're like, oh, that guy made X amount, but they don't realize like there's so many years after that, right?
Yeah.
So the fact that you have a plan just period is probably ahead of most professional athletes.
Yeah. And you see, I mean, there's a phrase I heard that people buy stuff they don't need with money they don't have to impress people they don't even like.
Yep.
And across any professional sport, there's going to be a crazy disparity of income. And relative to the entire world, it's like you're all going to be in the 1% or whatever it is.
Sure.
But relative to some of your teammates, and then now all of a sudden you start comparing lifestyles, people can have an unsustainable lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
for when their career is going to be over, because some guys are going to have a 90% drop in income. And it's like, man, if I could, even I've had a lot of tax conversations already with teammates, but if I could help somebody out, and it's not like, oh, don't ever spend any money,
Yeah,
but it's like, no, it's like,
be
okay,
thoughtful about
what are
it.
you going to be thoughtful and
Yeah.
and recognize what are you going to value and plan for the future,
Mm-hmm.
because there is an expiry date on your career, and
Yeah.
maybe you'll play to your 40, and maybe you'll play to your 30, and maybe some of these young guys you'll play to your 22, 23, and maybe you could have been getting your college degree for free from the MLS while you were playing, and now all of a sudden you're trying to figure out what life looks like for you. Yeah, so I think it would be related to that people piece of, oh, can you help people plan for the future so their lives
love
aren't
that.
shipwrecked and bankrupt? you
Yeah,
know?
like the NFL guy, it was, man, I think it was Vinny Testaverde or Bernie Kosar. I'm much older, but it was a quarterback from my youth. And he's, the name of the 30 for 30 or the E60 or whatever the ESPN doc is called Broke. And he had 37 cell phones for like friends and family. And we're talking about the cost of cell phones in like 1994.
Wow.
Through the roof, dude,
Yeah.
right? Like a mortgage or something, So like it's that would be cool. Cause I get, and not a lot, but I get, and guys I know that have been doing this, what we call old timers in the game that do autographs and stuff. I get a few and they get a lot of messages from retired players. Like, hey, do you need a signing? Because that's like become their income.
Right.
And the planning wasn't present before. Not anyone in the MLS, nothing like that. And rarely hockey, but like mostly predominantly football, basketball, and baseball guys. Like that's why everyone's like, I wonder why Pete Rose, RIP, but like, why does he sign so much? It's like, it's his job.
Yeah.
Right? Stan
Yes.
Musial up until, it's his job, and now even the absolute killers, like some are doing it because like, yeah, I'd love to pick up some extra money and do a couple signings. Some are doing it because they have to.
Yeah.
Right? Like the Bo Jacksons and the Ken Griffey Juniors and the Derek Jeters, guys that never signed like a structured thing. They do it now. And it has nothing to do with, I think they're okay.
Yeah.
But some people are doing it out of necessity. And I think the planning piece would be awesome, especially if you could offer that kind of service to folks that have an athletic background, because everyone's in their pocket.
Yeah.
Everyone's in your pocket, right?
Yes.
Like it's just the way it sucks. It's as soon as you go from here to here to like, ooh, may I have, can I have, I can help you. And maybe they can, but it's got to be hard to differentiate from the various people approaching you what's right and what's wrong. And if someone that had lived it could provide that advice, I feel like that'd be a good thing.
Yeah. I feel like with the money part, it's 90% psychological.
Yeah.
And then it's okay. Once you kind of break that of like, oh, this is, someone be able to challenge or respect someone enough, allow me to challenge their thinking on something.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, it's like, okay, now then you can work into the planning and the tax side, and you can optimize.
Sure. If they let you in the door.
If they
right?
let you in the door.
It's the entry point for them getting into the door is especially in like football and basketball, like some guy or gal, someone somewhere had a payoff, like a lobbyist, like, hey, if you do this, and then they're just, I think there's probably a lot of guys and gals that become flashy that never maybe would have been, but don't know any better.
Yeah.
So if they're allowed to be counseled and accept that advice, I think that'd be a great service.
Yeah.
Do you have any advice for young players, specifically in your sport, and just holistically, generally speaking, any things that maybe when you were younger, where you're like, hey, I'd really love to do this. I don't know if it's going to happen, but these are some things that back then, had I known, I know I'd be where I'm at now. You're already here, but like, what would you have liked to have told your younger self that maybe would ensure you got to this point?
That's a good question. There's some things I did which I would really recommend for younger players, and that it was like I was the one who was driving forward with what I wanted my soccer career to look like. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're really young and it's your parents, you got to go out and do extra work or whatnot.
It's like a task.
At that point, it's kind of like there's some kids, and it's great. Sport is incredible, and it's meant to be enjoyed and have fun. And that'll be the overwhelming majority of kids.
Sure.
But if you find yourself in the position of where it's like, no, like I'm driven to do more. I didn't realize like the impact certain things. Like we had this hallway in my basement. My dad double drywalled the whole basement, left it open. And then he did like PVC pipe and we put a net in.
Nice.
And then I had this hallway that I could dribble down. But because it's a hallway, you're coming down and there's a wall on the right side. So if I was going to work on anything, it would have to be cut onto my left because I couldn't cut on my right because there's a wall there.
That makes sense.
And so I spent a ton of time as a kid working on my left foot. We actually talked about it before the podcast began.
Yep.
And then when I was in college, I played left center back. And there's a time where I hurt my right knee and I had to use my left foot even more. So multiple things helped my growth. But like all those hours in the basement when I was 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, they had an impact on my career that I didn't even expect. And it wasn't cutting it on my left foot and scoring goals, but it was using my left foot.
Just the ability to have it as a tool. Yeah.
Effectively as a tool to be able to thrive in a position where it's like, oh, if I get shown left, I can go left and use my left foot to find a pass or a long ball in behind. So these moments for kids of, if you're working and you're driven to do something, I think it's got to be, they have to be predominantly the ones who are like, no, I want to grow in this.
Sure.
But yeah, I think B would be the work that you put in as a kid. It builds, like you are building a foundation for the future player that you're going to be.
Do you think the repetition is big? Because I tell my son this all the time. Like we had some free time on Saturday and I'm like, we'll just go to Parkway Central High School, which is close to where I live. And we're just going to work on the right foot. And he's like, okay. And he didn't want to. He's like, all right. I'm like, well, what is it you want to do? And he rattled off like 3 things that like, I'm like, no, we're not going to do any of those things. Like you already do that stuff.
Right.
Like that video game's not going anywhere, dude. We'll do it when we come back. You can watch YouTube on your phone. Like, no, we're going to do this. And then when you get out there, he's fine. But that's where I'm always at with him. I'm like, I would like you to want to do it.
Yes.
Because if not, you get to what's called burnout.
Yes.
Or like, I don't want to punish you by playing soccer. Like, dude, it could be so much worse. So I think I don't know how you get to that spot, but I think it's hard. But the fact that you're self-motivated is pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, it's like, and that's not to say like my parents didn't push me. When I was a kid, even when I was younger, I would get out of the game and my dad had, I forget what he called it, spark plug thing. But it was basically like if he thought I worked the hardest of anyone on my team.
Okay.
And I really do think he was objective, which is crazy. But
probably hard to do, but possible. Yeah.
It's possible. Like he was in terms of like my career or whatnot. It's like, I wasn't always this, but it was like I was always trying to be like that was the thing. So like that kind of stuff drove me, or like that, when different stuff happened.
Some reward of some sort.
Yeah,
some incentive.
Like,
love that.
That was something that he wanted me to do and be as not just as a player, but as a person.
Gotcha. Yeah. Anything else you would want to add for like young fans that you think would help? I think it stands out. It doesn't mean like, when you're 7. I mean, even if you're 20, it's just like, these are the things I've done or things I think would help.
Yeah. I mean, I always used to, even when I was in college, I was always trying to do more. Like you're teammates with guys, but you're trying to
outdo them.
You're trying to outwork guys.
Sure.
Like in the summers, in college, we train 5 days a week. And I always used to think like I got a bonus day on everybody when I get to go in on a Saturday. So
makes sense.
I think it's a lot of perspective. What's your perspective going to be on extra work you want? Is it going to be something that, and there's times like you do extra, for sure. There's been times of extra work. It's like, I didn't want to do it at all, but like I did it. But, orienting your perspective into the extra work that you're doing. And I think now that I'm saying this out loud and processing it, the thing that maybe it was in college or maybe before, but I just became super process driven.
Yeah.
Like I fell in love with the process of trying to improve as a soccer player.
In a regimen of some sort. It sounds like you seem really organized. Yeah. Like I don't know an accountant that would not have some structure or organization in their life. Like players that are just kind of all over the place, like, whatever, we can do this, or that's cool, whatever. I just kind of show up. Like, I'm not saying it doesn't work. And I understand some people are just freakishly talented.
Yes.
But people that have a process and they're disappointed when they don't adhere to that process, I think those in any position of life or walk of life generally are really successful.
Yeah.
So, anything you want to tell the fans or anything before we sign off?
No, just appreciate them. I know it's been, like we talked about earlier, it's been a hard season for me individually. I know the results haven't been going the way of the team too, but.
So are you saying we're losing because you're not playing?
No, I'm not. No,
Okay,
I'm not.
I'm just kidding.
I would love to be playing, but no, I'm not saying that. But just appreciate, the overwhelming support that I get when I interact with people. Of like, man, I miss, even encouraging things like I miss, seeing you out there, and stuff like that. Like it makes a difference. People are.
Harlan and my son ask all the time. He's like, "Is Kyle playing?" I'm like, "No, not this guy." Yeah. Well, cool, brother. I appreciate you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah.
We'll do it again.
Yes, we will.
Cool.